G'day guys, welcome back to Down Under Projects. Well, as you can see, the old Tweedy, the HJ Ute with the 308 5-litre Holden motor in it, is now running again. And that's because I rebuilt the Holley Carby, the 4160 600 CFM Carby. Got a kit and replaced everything. I'm not a mechanic and I didn't think I'd be able to do it to start with, but as it turns out, with the right few books and a bit of research, pretty much anyone can do it if you know how to swing a spanner. So if you want to have a look at this video, I hope you find it entertaining. It's not really an instructional video, there's plenty of those out there. It's just how one bloke with a couple of spanners and a little bit of support from these books was able to rebuild a Carby and get the old girl back on the road. So now I can cruise around town and keep her running. I hope you enjoy the video and thanks for watching Down Under Projects. Alright guys, I'm no mechanic and I've never done this before, but anyway, I've got these pipes disconnected, hose lines, and I might just quickly crack this to make sure there's no fuel in the bowls rather than spilling it over at the bench. Yeah, I'll do that. And then I should be able to, I've already taken all the retaining nuts off, so it should just lift off hopefully. But yeah, I'll just make sure there's no fuel in it because I don't want to try and keep the space over there nice and tidy. All right, so I'm just cracking these Carby bowl bolts at the bottom there so that if there's any fuel in here it should just come trickling out, and nothing at the back, and I've already done the front, so there was a tiny bit at the front. All right, I'd rather have all this sort of mess over here than over at the workbench. So next is lifting the Carby off. Wish me luck, here we go. How hard could it be, eh? I've done the 4 bolts. I think I've done every hose that was connected to it. There we go. Oh, it's a bit tight, but it's coming. Yep, there we go. All right, well, I better take this over, see if it'll fit on that little bracket that I made for it, and put a cover over that so no dirt and dust gets in there. Just looking at this spacer, I don't know much about this stuff, but I suppose you've got the 4 barrels of the Carby that fit onto this nicely, but then the actual manifold looks like it's just one big open square. So I suppose it doesn't really matter, does it? Just thought that somehow this could be a tiny bit restrictive. Doesn't look terrible in there. Okay, let's go over to the bench. So I just sort of measured this up, made it a while ago, and I've just got these little sort of lock nuts in, but I won't have them too tight because that gives me a little bit of adjustment, and then I'll just fill them up finger tight once she's on. All right, I think it will go something like this, hopefully. Bloody still leaking fuel everywhere. And I tried to avoid that. Oh, yes, all right. We're on, just. I just like to do this because there's so many little fiddly parts on it that I don't want it going anywhere, rocking and rolling when I'm working on it. That feels good. All right, well, that's a start. I'm pretty happy with that. Just enough clearance for that, which is nice. Let everything kind of vent and get rid of any last fuel that might be in it. All right, off you come, out you come. Thank you. O-rings in there, don't want that left in there, so just go and grab something and get it out. Yeah, this crossover pipe or pipe had these on the outside. I don't know why. Could it be something that you do in a marine environment where you don't want spray going in? That's all I can imagine. They say if you get too much backfiring going, it can wreck your power valve. So I did have a few backfires while I was chasing my tail, trying to work out what was happening with this thing. So luckily it comes with a new one, so that's good. And apparently if your power valve is shot, you'll know one of the reasons is that you'll just be running rich all the time. That's my understanding anyway. Gotcha. Yep, so if you look in there, I don't know if you can see it, but inside that float, you can see fuel sloshing around. That's not good. We'll deal with that tomorrow. Righto, so that's it. We have the Carby bowls are off. And you can see down there that she probably will enjoy a bit of a clean. All right, well, I got this place set up almost like a operating theatre. Carby and its parts ready to be disassembled. Reference materials telling me how to do it. I bought this book, How to Rebuild Holley Carbys, and I borrowed that one from the library and a few other bits of reference material. But essentially today all I want to do is pull this down and hopefully get it all clean, and then worry about the rebuild once I'm ready for it and once I've done a bit more reading. But nothing left to do but get into it. I've got good lighting, I've got all my tools sorted, ready to go, and a good workspace. So let's make a start, eh? So what I should have done yesterday, they say when it's still attached to take your fuel, whatever this is, your banjo fitting off, just because it's attached, so you've got better leverage. But I think if I just put this here and jump on there, I should get the same effect. Okay, well, they're saying 11/16 in the book. It's a bit of play there, but I don't know if that's because it's an older bolt or not. But we'll give it a go. I can see why they said leave it on there for the leverage. Oh my goodness, that was tight. I think I got it. Yep. All right, pull that off. It's got a little gauze filter in it as well. But anyway, I'll just pull that off. One little washer on that side. One on that side. Where's the filter? And a filter. I might get some little like sandwich bags or something to bag these up so I know exactly what's what. So next is to remove the fuel bowl gasket, which is this one. I suppose I should try and be gentle with it, and that way, two things, you've got a reference, although with this one it should be pretty obvious that I don't think there'll be another gasket the same sort of shape, but anyway, you keep it just as a reference to match up against the one out of the kit to make sure. that they are the same. So I'll get this off, which is a tedious thing, and we'll come back to something else. Don't know how long it's been since this has come off, so it might be a bit tricky, but they definitely say not to use any screwdrivers or any levering on it. Don't want it to come flying off and end up on the floor either. You can see where I reckon someone's got in here with a screwdriver in the past. There's a couple of little sort of little marks out of it. All right, well, I'll just keep doing this until she pops off. Okay, so that came off all right, eventually, just with the taps from the hammer. And then it just says to remove this gasket carefully, so I'll do that. See what happens after that. Righto, so that's come off without too much drama. It's not in terrible condition, so see about that. Put him with that. A bit of stuff to be cleaned off there, I suppose, but it doesn't look terrible. There's a number in there. S76, I wonder what that means. All right, so what's next? Move the gasket. Float removal. Okay, so yeah, I'll get this other side off, and then we'll just do the float metering plate. Luckily, my little $10 kit, $10 for all those bits, looks like it's got one of these. I have ordered a 5/32 clutch head screw bit, but it was $15 and it hasn't arrived, so I've already made a start on these. It seems to be working all right. Righto, hopefully this will just fall away. Yes, and it's got its gasket, and then there's another gasket and some sort of a plate gunk built up in there, or a piece of copper or something. Oh no, it's just a bit of, there's definitely a bit of sort of varnish in amongst it all. Whoop, got it. All right. That can go there, that can go there. Might as well get this one off as well if I can. Oh. Feels like he's well and truly stuck on there. All right, I'll get this one off. So I've had to take time with this one, but it's almost like there was a vacuum in there, and when I cracked it here, a little bit more fuel came out. I knew it was sort of a lot wetter than all the other gaskets. So yeah, there must have been some residual fuel still inside here, but it's coming off now. But that was tricky. I didn't want to bend this metal plate. Oh yeah, still a little bit in there. Wow. It's kind of weird the way these things work, isn't it? Just who invents this stuff? Anyway, that's off there. This has got to come off here. Should just come off, I reckon. There we go. I've got a bit of a start. Got it, I think. Here we go. Come on. Yeah, it'll just be good to use these gaskets against the new kit to make sure that the ones I'm using are the right ones. Got it. All right. Next is fuel bowl float, removing the fuel bowl float. All right, so I'll put this off to the side, tidy up, and we'll get the fuel bowls happening. All right, so with my 4160 and the side hung float, you just got to take this C-clip out, and then this should slide off, and this little spring will come with it, and then needle and seat will come out, and this little box, I can't remember what that's called, and then the primary side's got this fuel pump. So I'll get to work taking them off. Fiddliest bit's that, not losing it. Time for another bag, I would suggest, but we'll just try and get this off. Maybe, I don't know if that spring will pop off first. That'll probably come out from the bottom, yeah. Don't lose it. There we go. All right. And I've got brand new floats because this one is still full of fuel. We'll do the locking screw. And the whole thing should come out. It's got its little gasket. Oh, that's tight, but it's coming. So that'll get my needle and seat now. And I've got new needle and seats because the ones that were in this have always been 110, whatever that is. But looking at the specs, they're actually 0.097 of an inch. So that's what I've got to go back in. Anyway, that was pretty harmless. This probably just looks like it just slides in. Oh, maybe I should read up on this one because it doesn't want to move. Oh. I hate plastic fittings. I don't want to break it. All right, I better have a read. Okay, I just got this screwdriver and put it in here and just gently lifted that. Appears to be loose now. Beautiful. All right, I'm guessing we'll move down onto this now, and then I'll do the same for the other float. I better get a bag for this stuff. Okay, now it's time to remove the accelerator pump. So they say get rid of these 4 screws. 1, 2, they're not too tight, which is good. The pump diaphragm is in here, and they say to be gentle with that if I want to reuse it, which I don't think I do, but we'll be as gentle as we can so that it's there if it's required. I'm sure I've got a replacement one. And voila. It's all right, so that's this fella. You must just lift off, surely. Righto. Suppose it's good to make a note of which way it's facing too. Nothing wrong with that, I don't think. It's got a spring. There's like a little ball bearing in there. I better have a read of what goes on there. I don't have this red thing. Lift diaphragm spring from casting. Remove check valve. The orange dot is a check valve. When the accelerator pump arm presses up on the diaphragm, silicon rubber valve, blah, 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 blah. It's through the floor of the bowl. If you pry it out, chances are that you will damage it. So plan to replace it if you do remove it. I don't even have it. Silicon rubber check valve has a small nipple that engages to the fuel bowl. I don't have any of that. I have a totally different setup. Well, I'm guessing that is like an older version or a different style. But do you just pull that little piece out and then the ball bearing falls out? Does it matter? Because if I put this in the ultrasonic cleaner, it looks like there's enough wiggle room there for it to just clean itself. I think I'll just leave that for now. Put these in a bag. So that's the secondary bowl done, and this float, as I've shown you before, is full, or half full now, of fluid. If you can see that in there wiggling around. So you'll probably go straight in the bin, I suppose. Primary, secondary, primary, secondary. That can stay in there for now. Right, what's next? Okay, so there's a whole heap here about the accelerator pump cam, which is, this is the cam screw. Can be located in these different spots, and the cam is in here. So I'll go about accessing that, see what we got to do. This is all kind of adjustable. I'm just trying to work out where that was, but I think it was in the first one there. But anyway, it doesn't look terrible, I don't think. You can buy different sizes. Anyway, that's out. Probably didn't need to remove that, but anyway, we'll just see where we're at. Okay, so that's the cam. Inspect the C-clip. Gotcha. Now what? Remove the C-clip. Push it off about halfway, then grab. Yeah. Remove that lever. Is it going to hit this thing? Hang on. Get rid of that. Okay, so we're onto the accelerator pump discharge nozzle, which is this. And it's a bit fiddly. It talks about one small thin metal sealing washer is under the screw head and one is at the bottom of the nozzle unit. It's very easy to overlook the lower washer because it can be left behind or dropped when the squirter is removed. Under the discharge nozzle inside the fuel passage is a small pump discharge needle valve. Turn the main body upside down to let this needle valve drop out. Okay, let's do that. Oh, it's not tight at all. So there's all these washers and things. Don't drop them, David. Okay, so there's pretty shitty looking washer there. Here's the other one. Oh, don't. What is it? Very fiddly. Okay, so that's all of that. Now we've got, I see, there's a thing in here. So just tip it upside down and it should come out, they reckon. There we have it. Right, so we're back to this metering plate, and it's talking about removing the main jets and the power valve. There's no O-rings in the book, so I don't know why these are on here. I don't know if that's a requirement or not, but we'll get them off and get these out. I haven't got the correct Holley tool that they talk about, but this flat-bladed screwdriver sits in there quite nicely, so that'll do that one. And then one more. They don't seem to be in too tight. Main jet's done. I wonder why those O-rings were on it. Anyway, I guess this power valve, I think it's a 1-inch spanner, and I don't know what this is either. I haven't got to this yet. Feels like it'd just pull out. Anyway, carry on. 1 inch. Oh, yep. Two gaskets? Wonder why it's got two gaskets. I got that other bit out. Okay, better do some more reading. Okay, so that's got that other gasket off. They talk about removing a whistle, which is up here, but mine doesn't have it, so I won't worry about that. Now it's just the metering, idle mixture screws or whatever they are, I'm not sure, but get them out in the cork gaskets. Okay, so it would have involved choke plate removal, but I don't have that. So straight onto the vacuum secondary diaphragm removal. I'll just have a quick read and get back to you. All right, so getting rid of the vacuum secondary, first you've got to get rid of your choke if you've got one. And then they say the first screw is to get rid of this bottom one. Holy moly, that one was tight. Because you're basically taking it all off together for some reason. So then they say to locate the 3 mounting screws, 1, 2, 3. Get them off. Oh, that was easy. Yep, easy. Third one and final, I hope. Right, that's off. So we're on to the removal of the top cover of the vacuum assembly. Then the actuator rod, we get the C-clip out from down the bottom, and then we can pull the diaphragm out. Got it. Right. Well, it doesn't look totally stuffed. And we just got to get this C-clip off here. And then the whole rod should just come up through the top. don't know if I was supposed to get this bit off first. It came off a little too easy. Right, so now this whole section just should flop out. Yep. So it's time to separate the main body and base plate, which means I will probably have to take this off and spin it over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, well, I turned the page and we're in a cleaning and inspection, so I guess that's as far as we got to pull it apart. I'll get this gasket off and yeah, we can start thinking about cleaning things. Right, so I have just placed the main body inside this bucket, which is inside the ultrasonic cleaner. And that way I've put a bit of just dishwashing soap in with the water that's in here, and it should contain all the dirt in here and keep my machine so the clean. Good thing about ultrasonic cleaning is it's very effective, but it's pretty slow. So this was in for half an hour and now it's gone in for another half an hour. But I've thrown a few other bits and pieces in the back there. That's got the accelerator pump levers and things, and then something else over there. And I've got the base plate and everything ready to go with the metering plate, secondary block metering plate, and the float bowls, etc. A few other bits and pieces, the vacuum housing. So that will go in next. Okay, so it's time to start putting things back together. It's cleaned up pretty well. I've given it a lot of attention, so I'm pretty happy with it. I don't know how much cleaner you could get it, but it's a lot better than it was. So yeah, this base plate or throttle body, whatever you want to call it, is ready to go, and yeah, pretty happy with that. So we'll whack that on the little stand and start putting it back together. Still got some parts getting cleaned in there, but yeah, I'll make a start. Oh yeah, I'll just quickly, if I can get that on without too much effort. There we go, 1, 2, 3. That'll do. This is the Carby itself. So it's come up quite nicely too. Just blown everything out with compressed air, but yeah, that's much better than it was. So we'll put it back together and see how it goes. Okay, so these were held in with a little bit of thread sealant, so I think I'll do the same. I've got a torque wrench. They say 30 to 50 inch-pounds. So if I go 40 inch-pounds, it ends up being just around 3 foot-pounds, which is what I've got. And that should get us at the right torque spec, and then you just put them in crisscross pattern. So we're onto the metering block. The first thing they want me to do is put those little cork rubber gaskets in. So just open up all of this dainty little bits and pieces and stick them in here, otherwise I will lose them for sure. All looks nice and clean in there. Got it. It's just having a closer look at these after cleaning them, and they tend to have just the tiniest little bit of a deformation at the tip from where they've probably been screwed in too tight. That one's probably the worst. But I'll use them, but I think I'll order a couple of new ones. So in all the way till it touches, and then out 1.5 turns, so I'll do that. Power valve time. There's 2 different types of gaskets depending on the type of power valve, but because I got the rectangular one, this is the correct gasket. Caught up. I haven't got a torque setting or spec on this. Just see what happens. Okay, so that looks nice. After you install the power valve, okay, torque wrench tightened to 40 to 50 inch-pounds again. Okay, cool. Okay, that's in. So these are the ones that came out of it, and they've got a number on them that says 661. So I assume that's the right size, 661, both of them. So I'll whack them in. It talks about, because you can't use a torque wrench along with the jet driver, bear this torque in mind, tighten it snugly but don't get carried away. So, snugly. I'm going to say they're snug. Just for the record, it's 6.5. And it says 12/9/25. I don't know if that's a manufacturing date or not. Okay, let's get the accelerator pump set up. So I'm just going to leave that there. It's been cleaned. We'll just see how we go. So we'll move on to this valve diaphragm. With the diaphragm inverted, that way, install the accelerator pump diaphragm spring into the That goes there. Whoop. That goes there. That goes like that over the top. Nicely. Because then it can go when it's pushed. And that pushes it. Oh, now, where's it push it from? Outside like that, isn't it? Yep. Carefully align the gasket and put the screws in. Okay, accelerator pump diaphragm done. Okay, so now it's time to do the accelerator pump lever and its cam. Okay, I got the cam back on in position, and it's all looking a bit shitty now that I've done all that Carby cleaning on it, but anyway, I'll put a bit of spray on that later. But so that's in, and it's working. Now we're onto the primary fuel bowl so that we can then adjust that accelerator pump to suit. So I've got brand new floats because, as we all know, my float had a leak, which started me on this whole, down this whole rabbit hole. Righto, so this little plastic part, I don't know what it's called, it just sits in there like that. Okay, it's been a bit fiddly, but I've got it in there. We've got our little screw, got our float, and spring just sort of sits in there. C-clip, new C-clips in. Now, needle and seat can go in, and then we can put this on. What I did notice is in this kit, there's 2 little ball bearings. So I wonder if I was supposed to change that one in the accelerator pump. If so, it can be done, but I'm not going to worry about it just yet. This one's a good quality gasket and just tucks nicely around there. There's no need for an O-ring there. That was weird. Well, hopefully I didn't leave anything out in the fuel bowl or any of this stuff. I'm sure when I go back to all the bits and pieces and parts, if I see a spare bit, I'll go, whoops. Guessing the gaskets are just compressing. There we are. Yep, we're there. That'll do. I'll double check them later. Right. That's so cool. All right, so we're getting there. I'll just put the bits and pieces on the bowl. Well, it's a brand new, beautiful day. Yesterday afternoon, I didn't film it, but I got that, got all this buttoned back up. So the things I didn't film was putting in the cam lobe, which was a bit fiddly for this accelerator pump arm. And the vacuum, secondary vacuum, putting this back together was very tricky to get this gasket to stay where it belonged, but works, and I did a pressure test on it. It's all good. The only thing I want to do now before I put it back on is double check these O-rings, because yesterday afternoon I realised that I'd neglected to put the little crossover tube that runs into the metering block in. So I pulled it back off, put that in with new O-rings, that little brass pipe that goes between here and here, and or here, the metering block. And then putting this back together, I'm not 100% sure that I got this O-ring right. So rather than find out later, I'll pull it apart this morning and check that. But then we'll put it back on. And the good thing with this gasket kit is, see, we've got that big square hole, which is what is in the intake manifold. And that marries up there, where before it used to have the two like that. And I don't suppose it really matters, other than that, like this base one, if it, you could potentially lose this stuff and suck it straight down the intake. So it's probably a better move to just have a great big open air pocket. All right, let's pull it apart, tidy it up, and then put it in the car. All right, it's spec'd at, what was it, 7 inch-pounds, the bolts, so I think that worked out to be about 5 foot-pounds to tighten the nuts onto the studs. So what I've just done is taken the coil lead off, and hooked up a little pressure gauge to try and get pressure up without starting it, without adding fuel into the system yet, and see if that'll work. And then I'll probably have to do another pressure test once it's been running and stuff like that. But I'll see if I can just kick it over and build up some pressure. I've got my gauge here, just got to get the keys and kick it over. Okay, so we'll give it a crack and see what sort of pressure we get. That's looking like it might be, what is it, 5 or 6? Oh, look at that. That's probably perfect for what I want. Pretty sure they say with Hollies not to run them over 7. So this point here, 6 down the bottom is PSI. Beautiful. Okay, well that gives me confidence to clean the spark plugs, plumb it up, and try and start it. But yeah, just clean the spark plugs first. Well guys, this is it. I have just left the coil off, this lead down here, and pumped up the bowls so that they're just lapping at the inspection ports. So theoretically, if I hook this up, I've cleaned all the spark plugs. If I just hook this back up to the coil and kick it over, we should be in business. Where's it gonna fit comfortably? Get on there, hopefully you'll get on there. And let's see what happens, eh? Here we go, Sandy. Oh, sorry, door. Here goes nothing. How do I do this? Come on, baby. Uh-oh. What have I not done right? All right, we'll just try again. I'll just, that coil's definitely on. Haven't bumped anything, I don't think. Hope spark plugs are back in the right spots. All right, let's just give it another go. Whee! It was in reverse. Whoops. Doesn't sound great, but it's going. That would be because I've left 4 of the spark plug leads off, so it's running on 4 cylinders. Hang on. I get so caught up in all the excitement of it. What a dickhead. All right, let's put these back on, and then that might make quite a difference. So it started in reverse with only 4 cylinders. How good are the old Holden 308s? And what a dickhead I am. But anyway, let's give this another go. Can't see any fuel leaks, which is a good thing. Right, let's see how it goes on 8 cylinder. In neutral. Or park.